I was finishing my senior year of high school when the finale of Supernatural aired. I was literally watching the finale while I was in school, like at lunch, like the final week of school. I was watching it, and I sat there trying not to cry because I was so angry and confused about the finale. I didn't really like the finale. I think a lot of people didn't like the finale. But, you know, there was one question that never came to my mind until now. And that question is, why didn't Jack revive Dean? Jack became God last time I remember from the Supernatural show, and he could have revived Dean because he's God now. The eldest Winchester brother died in a somewhat controversial fashion. Bro died to metal. By that point, the Winchesters had already defeated God and made Jack the replacement God, ensuring that the supernatural multiverse would remain in the safe hands. Yeah, there's a multiverse. Let's not talk about it. Anyways, despite Jack's omnipotence, however, he never brought Dean back to life after the ending. Jack happily revived Cass, who was previously swallowed by the Empty. Let's not call it that. Cass was sent to mega ultra hell just because he told Dean, I love you.
I love you.
He also restored everyone killed by God during the season 15 rampage, the Divine Rampage. But when Dean found himself on the wrong side of a vampire, Jack was nowhere to be found, so why? The chief reason Jack wouldn't have simply sent Dean back to the world of living after his death is that Dean himself wished for the opposite. During his final conversation with Sam, Dean pleaded with his brother, no bring me back, okay? You know that always ends bad. As he continued edging closer to death, Dean admitted, I did not think this would be the day, but it is, and that's okay. Dean's words carried a certain acceptance that his time on Earth was over, and any friend of the older Winchester brother would want to respect that. It was well within Jack's power to swoop down from heaven and squash the offending vampire before it managed to take Dean's life. For a majority of his life, Dean had been a soldier, fighting an ongoing war against evil, and Supernatural's later seasons conveyed how his weariness with that battle was growing season after season. After defeating God, the culmination of the Winchester's timeline, Dean appears to acknowledge that his work was done, and how the mortal chapter of his existence had come to its natural conclusion. If Dean had felt otherwise, he might have asked Jack to restore his life, and Jack may have agreed. Since Dean was content to move on, however, he remained dead. Nevertheless, that explanation does not account for Jack letting Dean's death happen in the first place. Despite accepting this situation, it was very obvious that in Supernatural series finale that Dean Winchester did not want to or plan to die so soon. I mean, Jack did virtually the same thing against the Akithra during the Winchesters after all. Oh, let's not talk about that show. Anyways, he had made the save, and the Winchesters would have almost certainly thanked Jack, and all laughed about it over a bottle of beer back at the bunker. As such, Jack still has questions to answer regarding Dean's demise. Jack's non-interference in Dean's death can partially be explained by a promise he made after accepting the position of God. The reign of the original God was marred by meddling, whether by directly influencing the lives of the Winchester brothers for his own entertainment, or slowly destroying entire parallel universes one by one. Knowing this, Jack decided, I won't be hands-on. In many ways, Jack's philosophy makes total sense. During his time with the Winchester brothers, Jack was part of a unit collectively known as Team Free Will. Such good times that was, and they fought for the rights of humans to forge their own destinies, free from the whims of celestial beings. By staying hands-off, Jack was merely honoring the lessons Sam and Dean taught him. Unfortunately for Dean, that meant Jack could not step in to prevent his death. As per his free will, Dean went on that fateful hunting mission and knowingly risked his life. For Jack to interfere would be to meddle with Dean's autonomy. It's also important that Dean knew what dying would mean. Rather than slipping into a black abyss of the unknown like most people do, Dean was already fully aware that he would arrive in heaven and be reunited with his loved ones. And that means his car. Okay, let's not talk about that. The other's perspective is that, oddly, Dean never actually needed Jack's powers to come back to life. Though, oh no. I'm not talking about that show. Look, if Supernatural had ended with Jack as God and the Winchester brothers both surviving, audiences might have assumed that Sam and Dean would enjoy Jack's divine protection forever. With their all-powerful friend watching from above, it would have been natural to assume that neither Winchester brother could possibly come to any harm for the rest of their mortal lives. That would have been made for quite the disappointing ending, according to Screen Rant. For Sam and Dean to spend their remaining years covered in a big suit of Jack armor would have felt like cheating. Oh, I get it now. They would have been like Gary Stews, plot armor. Well, I guess I do kind of agree with that. Dean's death proved, albeit in a very abrasive way, that Supernatural's heroes were finally the masters of their own fate. But let me know what you guys think about this. It's been like I think a couple of years since the finale. That's wild. What? It's been like what, 4 years? Damn. Why does that make me feel old? Supernatural came out when I was a baby. Anyways, stay tuned for my next videos. I got one more coming today. I'll limit the videos to 2 a day. Yesterday I was just being cocky doing 3 videos. I'm seeing Nosferatu today, so expect a movie review for that. Spoiler free, of course, because I mean I know it's an old ass movie, but people will complain regardless. You know, I don't want that.